Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and face the American flag as students of the Pasadena City College Choral Department sing America the Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen.
Great this afternoon to have this group gathered in this most important ceremony of the Investiture of Dr. Erica Indra Jonas as President of Pasadena City College. My name is Jack Scott. I was very honored to be president of this institution from 1987 through 1995. And then a little later in my career, I happened to be the chancellor of the California Community Colleges. So I'm very excited about being here and about honoring Dr. Indra Jonas and Pasadena City College, a great, great institution that I was privileged to give leadership to for a period of time. I would like to recognize a few dignitaries in the audience. In the interest of time, I'm not going to name everyone, but I would like to simply indicate a group and have you stand briefly. I will, however, say to the audience, please hold your applause to the very end, and then we'll give a hearty applause to all of the people who are here. And we feel like all of you are dignitaries. Now, most important, I want to say that we have the Board of Trustees here. And they're here behind me. And I want to simply tell them that I applaud their foresight and wisdom in selecting Dr. Indra Jonas as president of Pasadena City College. Working together like the board and president, superintendent does is certainly worthwhile. We have, in a moment, we'll hear from the president of the Associated Students of Pasadena City College, and we also want to simply honor in the front row those College Shared Governance Organization. These are the individuals such as the Academic Senate, the classified staff leader, and so forth. Would you please stand? Okay, and then right now, remember I said you're operator, so that's okay. We also, I noticed at least one former president here, Bob Miller. Is there any other ex-president here? Stand up, Bob. And then you may be seated. And we have some individuals from neighboring community colleges, presidents and chancellors. If you're in the audience, and this bright light doesn't always make me look out and know who you are, but please stand. We're proud of the fact that you have chosen to come to be with us. Okay, and I'd like to make a brief note here. Among this group is the Chancellor of the Los Angeles Community College District, Francisco Rodriguez, and the reason I'm mentioning his name, when I came and listened to the individuals who were candidates for this position, I was greatly impressed by Dr. Andrew Jonas, but I had a friend who was chancellor where she had served as president of the Los Angeles Valley College, so I called Francisco on the phone, and he was effusive in his praise of Dr. Andrew Jonas. He did not want to lose her as president of Los Angeles Valley College, but he felt like that Pasadena City College would be extremely fortunate if indeed they were able to get her to serve as president. We were fortunate in making that decision. Now we have some individuals who are on the PCC Foundation, I know in the audience, so would you stand if you're a member of the foundation? Good. There's some other folks standing there at the back. We're glad to have you. I'm fortunate to be a member of the PCC Foundation, and they're a great group which are extremely supportive of the college. And I suppose really all of you are honored guests, and we're glad to have you here for this important occasion. Pasadena City College began in 1924. We're on the threshold of celebrating our centennial. And can you imagine all that Pasadena City College has done as an institution? Thousands, no, actually millions of students have gone through the doors of Pasadena City College. You know, the beginning of our government was to simply say that all men, and we would say all men and women, are created equal, and they're entitled to the free exercise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but they're also entitled, in my judgment, to higher education. And you know the institution that opens the door to all high school graduates. That's the community college. And so the individuals who come to us sometimes are of low income. Many of them are the first in their family to attend college. Some of them are returning adults. We don't have any kind of age limitation as far as students are concerned. It is an egalitarian institution that I'm so proud of, and particularly I'm proud of Pasadena City College. There are many rather famous people that walk through the doors. I think of Jackie Robinson, who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. He and his brother Mac were outstanding athletes here at Pasadena Junior College, as it was called in those days. And we had other individuals who came through here. One of the, after World War II, Esther Niyashima, one of the first Japanese Americans to return to the West Coast following her internment by the U.S. government. She came to study here at Pasadena City College. We are as recognized as a Hispanic serving institution. And today, 51% of our student body are of Hispanic background. We've been a place for veterans. In fact, I'm very proud to tell you that Military Times Magazine has selected PCC as the best college for veterans in California. So we have a lot to be proud of, and in this ceremony of investiture. I will have to tell you that everywhere I go in the community, I hear very positive reviews of Dr. Indra Jonas's performance. She's out in the community, but I also hear great reviews among the faculty and staff on how that she has, with foresight and with vigorous leadership, come into this campus. We are on the verge of a strategic master plan in education and in facilities as a result of not only Dr. Indra Jonas, but also our faculty and staff. And none of us would in any sense want to minimize the power of our faculty and staff and what they do. I was so proud when I was here to realize the great teaching that went on in our classrooms, the great service by counselors and staff, the way in which the administrative officials were active. You know, a lot of times the president gets the credit, but all of us who've been in any position of leadership know how important it is that we have individuals who perform as well. So I'm glad to be here today and to be asked to be the master of ceremonies here was quite an honor. I love this college. I think it was a great place. I was very, very fortunate to be the president here, and whatever else I did in my life, I owed it to PCC because it was the place that I was able to gain experience and the kind of work that was done here and the kind of honor it was to be president of this place. So I'm very pleased to be with you today. I'm very pleased to honor Dr. Indra Jonas. I'm glad to have her family here. I understand there's a large number of her family. By the way, maybe I should say those that are connected with her as family would like to stand too. Even other people love you at home. Oh, okay. We've had a wonderful time. Now, I don't know, maybe I didn't pause to say that you ought to give a clap of hands to all the staff and dignitaries that I introduced. So, if I didn't give you well, all of us who serve in higher education know one thing for sure, that what we're in the business for is to serve students. We never lose sight of that. Once in a while, some people do and have to be reminded of it, but that's what it's all about, is changing the lives of students, is giving them the opportunity, and often they go out and do so well in the world of business, in the world of politics, in the world of education, wherever they are. And so it reaches out to all places in our community, in our state, and in our nation, the influence of the students of Pasadena City College. So I'm going to ask the president of the student body now to come forward, Dion Shelton. Dion.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Scott, for your encouraging and inspiring words this evening. On behalf of the students of Pasadena City College, I am pleased to welcome Dr. Erica Indra Jonas to the community of Lancers. I'm also thrilled to have someone as superintendent president who has already distinguished herself as an advocate for students no matter what the circumstance. To be straightforward, my fellow students and I are all doing our best to make PCC live up to its two-year institution theme, right? We don't have a lot of time to wait around. The nearly 30,000 students who call PCC their educational home need all parts of the college to be working closely with each other, pulling us in the same direction to help us figure out what needs to be done to pass our classes and to move on to life beyond PCC. My fellow students and I came to PCC because it is a place that inspires people to be the best version of themselves, We are excited to be a part of the legacy of so many Lancers that have come before us, people who break boundaries and show us all that what we can become. What I've seen from Dr. Indra Jonas in the year that I've worked with her is that she is ready to do whatever is necessary to help students. No matter where the idea originates, the driving question is, how does it make student lives easier? The very first time I met Dr. Indra Jonas, she was very sweet and welcoming. She offered her most sincere advice about my term as AS president and was always encouraging the efforts of myself as well as the executive board to further bridge the gap between administration and the student body at large. You may know Dr. Indra Jonas as the Queen of PCC, but I know her as the Queen of Peanut M&Ms, Oreos, Snickers, and trail mix, which was always at her desk, ready for me to take during our monthly meetings. We are privileged to have a superintendent president who embodies the part of our culture so thoroughly and who serves as an inspiration herself. On behalf of the students at PCC, welcome to our college, Dr. Indra Jonas. It is now my pleasure, or round of applause. It is now my pleasure to turn the microphone over to the President of the Board of Trustees, James Osterling. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dion. Dr. Indra Jonas already knows the danger of speaking after me. It's not that I outshine her, she's a better speaker than I am, but I tend to go long. My budget is 10 minutes for this speech. Take the over on that. I'm going to start off right away by going off script. I'd like to introduce all of my fellow trustees, and I'm going to start in the back here in the red with Dr. Anthony Fellow, who preceded me as board chair at PCC. Next to him, my mentor, Linda Waugh, our newest trustee, Sandra Chenlau. Moving up here, Mark Hilsman, Berlinda Brown, and John Martin, our longest serving trustee. And I wanted to introduce the trustees because I'm here on behalf of myself, but also all of the board, to welcome you to this celebratory event. If the spirit moves you, feel free to cheer and whistle, just like our superintendent does. We have faculty here, staff, administration, students, community officials, members of the community, and we have other community college officials here as well. And we're all here because we're passionate about the mission of community colleges, and in particular here at PCC. And it's this passion and hard work and dedication over many, many years that has made PCC today what it is, one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. That's a cute applause. We also have two former superintendents in attendance tonight, both previously introduced, but I have to say a little bit more about each one of them. Down here is Dr. Bob Miller. Bob not only was a best superintendent and longtime employee at PCC, but Bob was stolen away from us by that man back there, Francisco Rodriguez, the chancellor at LACCD, previously introduced. So Francisco, welcome, but it's only fair that we stole Dr. Indra Jonas from you. Thank you for coming. And also would like to thank all of the executives that aren't here that helped make PCC over many, many years the great institution that it is today. Dr. Jack Scott, previously introduced, prior speaker. Jack is a hero at PCC, not only for his tenure as superintendent president, but Jack also recently led our very successful campaign to raise money for students. Our goal was $10 million, and I think last time I looked, we hit about $16 million, so thank you, Jack. Jack is also pretty modest. He forgot to mention that he's a former state senator, and we used his skills as a former state senator to go up to Sacramento and help free up some funds that were dedicated to the Serafian building, or the U building, that had gotten locked up in the logjam of Sacramento. And thanks to Jack's effort and our new superintendent, the funding for the Sarathian building has been freed up. So Jack, thank you for your past and your current service to PCC. We greatly appreciate your contributions. So I'm going to skip a few things since I'm already over my budget. There are many challenges and opportunities on the road ahead for Dr. Endrogiannis and PCC, and I think this is a good opportunity to share the board's vision for the college as we sit here today. Number one, student success. It's the foundation of our prior success and excellence, and it will continue to be a top priority. We're proud to be named by the Aspen Institute as one of the top 10 community colleges, not once, but twice in a row, and we're going for a third time. We're going through that process again. Number two, student equity. PCC has one of the most diverse student bodies, and we're in one of the most diverse community college districts in the nation. Our goal is to create a welcome and learning environment for all, and as Dr. Endrogiannis says, we accept the top 100% of the class, and in fact, we even accept students that didn't graduate from high school. Our goal is to reduce the student equity gap. Dr. Endrogiannis has an even more ambitious, and I would call it audacious goal. It's not just to reduce the equity gap, it's to eliminate the gap. And we're here to support you to achieve that. Workforce development. Community colleges have been charged by the State Chancellor's Office to realign our curriculum to meet the regional workforce requirements. We're underway with that, but that's a long and constantly evolving goal. We're facing a declining community college age demographic. What that means is there's less and less people right now of the typical age, 18 to 25. I know we attract all ages, but that's our primary demographic. And that demographic is declining, not just in our district, but throughout the state. We've seen declines at our peer institutions and some of the K-12 schools in our district. So far, we have not been impacted by that, and we need to continue to work hard to maintain our enrollment. Sound fiscal management. We're currently enjoying one of the longest economic upturns in history, and the community college funding that we get from the state has benefited from that. Because of that, we've been able to balance our budget the past several years, and we've been able to establish prudent reserves. But we all know that economies are cyclical, and we all painfully remember the last significant state funding cutbacks during the last downturn. We need to prepare as best as we can for that inevitable next downturn. The total cost of community college education. Tuition at community colleges in the state of California is a bargain at $46 per credit hour, but that doesn't even come close to identifying the real cost of attending community college. That also includes books, housing, transportation, food, and more. And while there are grants and loans available at four-year universities for many of these costs, there's much fewer financial aid resources where it's most desperately needed to community college students. With many of our students subject to housing and food insecurity, this is a significant barrier to success and completion. Our community has been very generous to PCC through our PCC Foundation, which started the Lancer Pantry to provide food for food insecure, and also has provided hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in assistance to our students. At the last year's legislative summit, we introduced the idea behind the Food for Thought bill, which was recently introduced by Congressman Adam Schiff. There's much more that we can do and need to do to truly address this issue in a comprehensive manner. That's a pretty ambitious list of challenges and opportunities, and it's only the short list. It will take a very talented and dedicated superintendent and executive team to steer the course and achieve all of those ambitious objectives. And I'm pleased to report that right here tonight, I think we have that superintendent on hand for us in Dr. Erica Indrogenis. Now, we're a little bit late at getting this together and at the investiture, and so we've actually had about a year to work with Dr. Indrogenis. Don't feel bad, I heard from Dr. Scott, he didn't get one of these. And he was here for 8 years. But we've already had a chance to see Erica in action, and I couldn't be more pleased with our selection of her as our superintendent, and she's already demonstrated that she's the leader that we need. She's brilliant, she's energetic, she's committed to the mission of PCC, and wherever you go in the community, when the words PCC come out, she stands up and gives her thank you. So I love her energy level. She has tremendous experience at other community colleges here in Southern California, and I think she is well prepared for the responsibilities here at PCC. One thing that I'm told constantly as a board of trustee, our task is important, but it's limited. Our job is to select the superintendent, provide strategic oversight, establish and maintain the budget, and then get the heck out of the way and let her and her team do the actual work. And we try real hard to do that. Erica has already become a trusted colleague and a friend to myself and all of us on the board. And Erica, we are fortunate to have you for this next important stage as we approach the next century of PCC's history. Now, if I haven't scared you off yet, and if you're still up for this, I'd like to move on to the next part of our program, and that's the official investiture of office. So, Dr. Indrogenis, please come forward. And I hope it's hiding underneath there. Stand right here, please. Let's see what we have. Wow. This is some nice bling. Okay. One moment, please. First of all, congratulations, my fellow trustees, and I wish you every success as you continue your work of you and your colleagues. And where's the official words that I know I need to say? Here we go. The office of Superintendent President at PCC is represented by this medallion, which has two sides. On the first side is printed Superintendent President, Pasadena City College, in a circular arc around a representative from one of the metal panels on the face of the C building, which was constructed in 1937 following the Long Beach earthquake in 1933. Above and below that image are the words knowledge and character, two key traits the college has long sought to instill in our students. On the reverse side, the medallion reads your name, Erica A. Indrogenis, PhD, and the Roman numeral 16, since you are our 16th Superintendent President here at PCC. So, come on forward, please, and stand here so I can read this while I do this. By the power vested in me in the Pasadena Area Community College District in the state of California, I hereby invest in you, Dr. Erica A. Indrogenis, the office of Superintendent President of Pasadena City College and all the responsibilities and privileges afforded therein. Left in the program. Dr. Indrogenis.
He's always taking my time. And in this case, he took some of the stuff I was going to talk about, so I'm going to try not to be repetitive. Wow, what an evening, and what a ceremony. or what I like to call my bling bling moment. I could have worn a tiara, and Dr. Rodriguez knows I'm La Reina. I couldn't figure out how to do it, so thanks to Dr. Terry Juni, my Vice President of Instruction, he rounded up some other bling, so I got some other bling. Right. So, they didn't let me see the Presidential Medal ahead of time, so this is truly more amazing than I thought it was going to be. I want to start out by thanking everyone for coming this evening to share in a special moment for me personally, and a special moment for Pasadena City College. My investiture marks the next chapter in the history of Pasadena City College. And the truth be told, I'm not really one for formal ceremonies like this. And some of you know that I didn't even participate in my own PhD graduation. But tonight is different because it's only partially about me. It's really more about Pasadena City College, a college with an already strong reputation in the state of California and at the national level. In fact, it's really about what happens next as we wend our way towards our 100th anniversary in 2024 and beyond. I'm in my 20th year in the California Community College system, and this is my 4th district. Yes, I can keep a job, I promise. While working in those other districts before arriving at PCC, I was quite aware that Pasadena City College, is known for being a quality institution. And when my appointment was announced, pretty much anyone who knows our state told me how lucky I was to be going to PCC. In fact, one of my graduate school colleagues who works at a community college in Northern California responded to my text, letting him know that I had landed the job with, and I'm making this G-rated. Holy smokes, dude, that is an awesome gig. To which I replied, yep. And after almost a year in the job, I can confirm that indeed this is an awesome gig for a variety of reasons, many of which have already been mentioned this evening. Investitures are standard practice at four-year institutions, but are not as common at community colleges. And in some ways, they should be standard practice for us because an investiture is a ceremony that is a reminder that we are fundamentally an institution of higher education with all of the rights and responsibilities that entails. However, our mission is far greater and more significant than that. As many have said before me, we are the great equalizer of the playing field, with access to education for all as one of our core values. This core value both sets us apart and demands more from us than other more traditional institutions. As Peter Riley Barr and Jillian Lee Gross note in their article on community colleges, quote, there are challenges associated with being a non-selective, low-cost college focused on meeting the diverse needs of the local community. Community colleges have been the primary portal to higher education for first-generation students, low-income students, underrepresented minority students, and students of non-traditional age and circumstance. As such, the authors continue, community colleges, perhaps more than any other institution, highlight that complicated relationship between democratic, political, and social expectations, and the public and private goods that are served through higher education, end quote. This results in what scholar David Larrabee notes is a system that both, quote, promotes equality and adapts to inequality. Our community college system is designed to help students achieve economic mobility, to provide them with academic programs they need to successfully transfer to a four-year college to complete a bachelor's degree and beyond. And we provide them with a career and technical program so they can complete a certificate or degree that will enable them to earn a living wage. But more than ever before, there is a growing expectation that we will address every, and that's underlined, every barrier that potentially stands in the way of students being successful and making it to the finish line, which is where Larrabee's theory of adapting to the inequality comes in. Because when I say addressing the barriers, I'm referring to everything, and Trustee Osterling said a few things, everything from identifying housing options for our homeless students. For example, we have a housing committee and we have social workers to help our housing insecure students. Or keeping that Lancer food pantry stocked with food for our food insecure students. We currently distribute 3,000 pounds of food a week to our food insecure students. To addressing mental illness among our students by increasing access to counseling. By fall, we will have 2 full-time counseling psychologists dedicated 100% to personal counseling, not to mention our bevy of counseling interns. We also create specialized centers that serve our former foster youth, that serve our formerly incarcerated students, that are undocumented dreamers, our LGBTQ students, and by fall 2020 here at PCC, we will have a family resource to support students who are parents. Now, anybody who knows me knows I can't take credit for that because the first one in the state was at Los Angeles Valley College, but we're going to be the second one because it's really important. And that's just to name a few of the groups that we help. And we're asked to provide these and more services every year, often without sufficient funding to meet the expectation. But my dedicated community college colleagues in the room, the Board of Trustees, the faculty, staff, deans, vice presidents, and presidents and chancellors from across California have taken on these additional responsibilities. Because we know this is how we equalize the playing field to promote equality, even if the system is not properly funded. Because quite frankly, we refuse to adapt to the inequality. In some ways, I must have known I would wind up here this evening because when I was in graduate school, years before I ever applied for my first community college job, I argued with some of my history colleagues about the value of community colleges. Their plan to be tenured faculty members never included the possibility of a 2-year institution, although it is some of the most rewarding teaching out there. So in a nutshell, much is expected of our system, even if the resources are not always there. But I am here. Many of us are here because we believe in what we do, and we are willing to do what it takes for all of our students to be successful. So what does the future entail for PCC with me serving as the superintendent president? As I told various Rotaries I spoke to in the fall, the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. And here's what's on the horizon. And Trustee Osterling stole my thunder in some way, so I'm gonna try to, this happens all the time. I really shouldn't go after him. But the first area of focus is in finalizing our update to the college's educational master plan, which we'll do in the next few months. And the 5 statewide Vision for Success goals are the foundation for this 10-year plan. And to meet those goals, I want PCC to continue to be the leader in terms of degree completion and transfer to 4-year institutions. I want us to continue to expand our career and technical education programs and increase our outcomes to get as many of our students as possible into livable wage jobs. And as Trustee Osterling already noticed, my most audacious promise is that I want to do whatever is necessary for PCC to be the first community college in California to close all equity achievement gaps. And which means I am committing us to ensure that we get every student who enters the college across the finish line to complete their educational goal regardless of their background or their challenges. Which, by the way, is not about lowering our standards. It's about meeting students where they are and providing the students they need, the services they need to rise to the challenge and to be successful. And I want to do this by 2027 to meet the statewide Vision for Success goal timeline. That task is not easy, but it is imperative. And that means, folks, that you're kind of stuck with me for a while because I don't like unfinished business. And I want to be here to be part of the team that makes that happen. The second area of focus in the next few months is finalizing the facilities master plan for the college, which will provide a blueprint for capital improvements at all 4 of our campuses to better serve our students and the community. A third and ongoing area of focus involves maintaining a healthy budget. Our strong student success metrics have allowed PCC to remain financially sound and with an annually balanced budget and an 18% reserve. In spite of a new funding formula that was supposed to emphasize success over enrollments, but hasn't delivered on that promise yet. I digress. Anyway, a fourth area of focus that I wouldn't mind helping the college do is win the Aspen Prize for Excellence, because, well, we are excellence. We're the definition of it. That's right. Lastly, over the next 4 years, we will begin to plan our 100th anniversary celebration. That may seem like a long time to plan, but entering our second century is a big deal, and there are so many things that we need to celebrate. When the college celebrated its 75th anniversary, it did a quilt, and I'm a quilter, so there will be a quilt. All you quilters out there, if you know how to use fabric, you're going to help us with this. I wouldn't make these predictions or these promises for success if I worked somewhere else. I can, though, because the people who work at PCC, along with our local community that supports us in many ways, including through our foundation, make everything I want us to accomplish possible. Not every CEO can make bold promises, but I can because I know the clay that I've been given to work with, and it's pretty awesome. I would be remiss not to mention that one component of my success thus far and going forward is the support of an amazing board of trustees, also known as my 7 bosses to my left. And this may come as a surprise to some of you, but my success is partially due to the support of the CEOs who came before me. Often new presidents are hopeful that former presidents will ride into the sunset so that they can make their mark on the institution unfettered. Instead, I have amazing former superintendent presidents to draw upon for help. Dr. Jack Scott, as Trustee Osterling noted, he's also number 9. I'm number 16. He's number 9. He headed up a very successful fundraising campaign, and he was instrumental in helping to get the money for our Serafium building. Dr. Jim Kostler, who followed him, number 10, who was sorry he couldn't be here due to another commitment, just led the strategic planning effort for the PCC Foundation. And the resulting plan is part of what makes my vision for PCC's future so bright. And of course, Dr. Bob Miller, number 14, who recently retired from the LACCD, so we're taking him back, and who is the incoming president of the Tournament of Roses here in Pasadena. He has already agreed to serve on the PCC Foundation Board and will no doubt play a central role in our centennial celebration. Finally, my success at Pasadena City College is also thanks to the support that I have from my family and friends, many of whom are here. There is no doubt that my family pays the biggest price for my crazy schedule. And because I'm the one who likes to cook, they have eaten an inordinate amount of fast food, since home-cooked meals are more likely to appear on the weekends rather than during the week. And I also haven't made it to as many soccer games as my daughter would probably like, Ava, but I appreciate the sacrifice. Okay, so in closing, I want to go back to my luck at being here at PCC. I've mentored a lot of people in our system as they've applied for jobs. And after the applications are submitted, the interviews are done, and the waiting game for that phone call with the job offer begins, I say the following to quell their nerves. Jobs are a random universe. And sometimes the best qualified person doesn't get the job for a whole host of reasons. But I tell them, and I firmly believe, that the universe usually gets it right, and people wind up where they are supposed to be. I am where I am supposed to be, and I couldn't be happier that the stars aligned, the timing was right, and I landed here. So thank you so much for coming and for celebrating this special moment in my life, in my career, and for Pasadena City College with me.
properly investitured, if that's a verb. And I know we all join in thanking you for your service already and look forward to working with you in the future. And I want to thank all of you in the audience who took the time to come here today. You're friends of Pasadena City College in all kinds of ways, and that's what makes the college great, is the kind of support that we receive. So I thank you for your attendance. Certainly, I invite you to come back and visit the campus at any time. It's a beautiful campus, and we're very proud of it. And ask the audience to remain seated. We're going to have the recessional, which the participants will have the opportunity to properly exit. And then after that, you're invited to a reception. Would somebody alert me as to the location of the reception? Oh, right outside. Well, that won't be too hard to get to. So you will be able to greet our new investiture president, and also we'll be glad to visit with you. And thank you again for your attendance here.